This is Dropping Hints.
I'm Alex.
I'm Silas.
In this podcast, you'll catch a glimpse of our everyday conversations. So do you know what I really miss?
What?
Fencing.
Where did you have the concealed weapon?
I just always carried on me, me and my fencing sword.
Your fencing sword?
Me
That
and my
is
BF blade.
the sword. BF is a company name. It's not an abbreviation for anything.
Yep.
BF, that's not what I want to talk about. Fencing, you mean like building white picket fences or chain links?
No, I mean like whacking you with my sabre.
Whacking me with a metal stick with a sabre, S-A-B-R-E, sabre.
Yes.
Sabre hummus brand.
Yes.
Sabre.
But many people think that you are talking about building fences.
Building actual fences is not
It's a
what
funny
we're
joke to
talking
make.
about. Yes.
People laugh all the time.
No, they don't.
People laugh when I say it.
People laugh at me
People laugh when I
all
tell
the
them a
time.
joke.
Just in general, I don't have to
Yeah.
be telling jokes. They just.
People
What's
laugh.
fencing?
So fencing is a really amazing sport.
Oh,
Okay?
is it?
Yes. You break it down. It's sword fighting. Okay. Sword fighting. But there's a lot of rules that go into it. Now, I won't get into all the details because we could be here for 45 minutes.
But forget about the rules.
But basically, there's 3 different weapons,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And I think it'd be cool to go into context of each of these and describe what they are, where they came from, and whatnot. So first you have the foil.
Foiled
okay?
again.
The foil, or the rapier, is probably the most original out of the 3 when you think of fencing. The foil is probably probably has the most fencers in it. It's probably the most original.
Gentlemanly dual weapon.
The foil was a dueling weapon, yeah, back in like the 1800s, like
Probably before then.
yeah. You had people that, like, let's say I walk up to you and like,
You make fun of my freaking beard, I'm gonna break your arm.
Let's say that I go ahead and ignore that warning and make fun of your beard.
I'm gonna break your arm.
You and your scraggly beard gonna break my arm? Yeah.
No, I'm probably just gonna shoot you. This
So,
is 1825.
I insult you,
Right.
in the mid 1800s. You don't like that, okay?
No.
So you,
Not one bit.
in an effort to regain your honor,
Honor!
you
I captured the Avatar.
challenge me to a duel.
Duel.
Okay?
Not to the
Duel
death.
With foils, yes.
Not to the death.
necessarily to the death.
Not necessarily.
First to draw blood restores their honor.
Yes.
Okay. Honor has been served.
Just
We're good. We
nick
can go
him and
home.
you're good.
And the target area in foil was the torso. All right. So it's kind of like all the vital organs are there. So if you hit someone there,
They're done.
you have a good chance of killing them. So there's a contrast to the foil, which is the epee. And the epee, E-P-E-E, with that little accent.
Salt Bay.
Flair.
Salt Bay dropping some salt on that E.
Epee is essentially... Oh, and by the way, foil is just pokey, stab, stab.
Pokey, yeah, that's what you do.
No cutting, just pokey stuff. So epee is the same way. A lot of poking.
Pokey.
No cutting, just
No.
poking.
There's a button on the end of the blade. It's like a
Same
pokey
thing.
poke.
It was a dueling weapon used to regain honor. But the difference with this was you could hit this guy anywhere.
Target area is
Torso,
bottom of his
head,
foot.
shoulders, knees and toes. Okay. You could hit this guy
Don't
anywhere.
make me kill you.
Yeah, I'll fight you.
This won't be for honor.
I need to restore my honor.
Yeah.
So you can hit this guy anywhere, all right? Legs,
Or
feet,
gal,
hands.
if you're gal fencing.
I don't know if women that dueled back then. I feel like they didn't.
Oh, I just thought you meant like fencing.
Oh, well, yeah.
I was like,
now they can.
Women definitely fence.
Well, I don't know if they dueled. I don't know.
I don't know.
I have to look it up. But yeah, so epee, you can hit him anywhere, but it's still the pokey stab stuff. And the sabre, all right,
S-A-B-R-E.
which is the weapon that
We fenced.
Silas and I specialized in. Saber is a very different weapon. Saber was never intended to be a dueling weapon. It was never intended like, ooh, you insult me, you insult my mother, I want to regain my honor. It was a military weapon. The cavalry used the saber exclusively.
Weapon of war.
It was a weapon of war. So this thing was meant to kill people.
Yeah.
All right. And they turned it into a sport.
Right.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Wow. But the cool thing about Saber was, if this is cool, I don't know if that's the right word.
We're about to find out what level of dork we're getting to. Just brace for impact. Buckle up.
So the target area in Saber is above the waist, including the arms and head. Okay, but you don't aim for the legs.
No.
Do not aim for the legs.
Don't aim for the legs, whatever you do.
If you're a cavalryman, that means you ride horses into battle. That's what that means.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to kill the guy on the horse, but you didn't want to kill the horse.
No, you don't want to kill the horse.
Because the horse was valuable to your army.
It's like a Mercedes.
It was like yeah, it was like you're gonna like, you know, slash all the tires on the car.
In the age of when this was prevalent, pre the advent of the tank, the cavalry was the military force. That would be like just destroying, you know, like munitions that you could very well use against your enemy or something like that. It's like you wouldn't just kill the horse. No.
Yeah. So that's just a little bit about those things. And so that carries over into now modern day, where those rules and styles from back when they were dueling, when they were made to injure people or kill people,
right?
Those rules have been translated into the sport nowadays, which is pretty awesome.
I know, it's pretty cool. You're like, man, I'm fencing and I'm actually like simulating a duel, or not simulating a duel maybe, but you're simulating like, you know, actual like combat, physical combat between each people.
So that's something that I think is like really cool about it.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of, with the rules and just any part of the sport, there's tons of special words and lingo that we have, where if you spend like any amount of time listening to it, you're going to hear like commentators when you watch the Olympics. The Olympics are coming up. Watch this on the Olympics.
Please watch fencing.
Please. Just, you know, it's amazing. It's super fun to watch. And there's all this lingo that we have. So I'm going to go through a few of these things.
Okay.
And describe to the people out there, to the good fine people out there.
Yeah.
Wherever they may be, what these things are in layman's terms. Not that you are a layman or a laywoman, but when it comes to fencing, you most definitely probably are. So give us the definitions of these terminologies that you would hear. Well, first off, actually no, just the official language of fencing.
Français.
We had an official language, Français.
Yes. All the officiating in the Olympics, the referees speak French.
Yeah. It's
pretty easy. You only need to know a few words to understand what's going on, but it's basically ready, set, go.
Ready, set, go.
Then stop.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Balestra.
The balestra is a small hop forward.
Good to know.
That's all I'm going to give.
That's it.
That's all I'm going to. I thought this was a lightning round.
Parry riposte.
Parry riposte. You're going to block your sucker's blade out of the way and then hit him with your blade.
Polish chest cut.
A cut only for those who are truly a master of the saber.
True Polish.
Only can do this cut.
Skyhook.
Skyhook, man, okay, it's like a simultaneous hit to your opponent's wrist while you are flailing backwards to get out of the way and make them miss.
Point in line.
You just stick your blade in their face. What are you going to do about it?
Whack it. Lunge.
Yes, the lunges. We do lots of maneuvers and things. The lunge is basically your standard way to attack.
Very descriptive of you. Flunge.
The flunge is more the extravagant.
With an F.
It's more the extravagant way to attack. It is a contraction of flying.
Not a birth contraction. Just saying.
You have lunge, and then you have the flying lunge, the flunge.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a more intense maneuver, only for saber.
Flesh attack.
Well, this one is basically just sprint at the opponent with your blade sticking out, and you try to hit him. You can't do that in saber because you're gonna break someone's bones if you do that.
Dry or electric.
Dry or electric fencing. So, it's like, do you like a dry martini? No, I'm just kidding. It's like, I hope. So it's like practice fencing. Dry fencing is practice fencing because you're just in basic gear, minimal gear to
level
use.
1 gear.
Level 1 gearing. And electric fencing refers to the scoring. It's electric scoring. So you're hooked up to these wires and conductive jackets, conductive blades, and when you hit someone, completes a circuit, light goes off, meaning you hit them.
Bada bing, bada boom.
But it doesn't always mean that you score, but it does mean that you hit them.
So step 1 is hit them.
Step 2 is, well, did I score?
Finally, knickers.
Ah, yes. That's like fencing lederhosen.
It's fencing pants. That's what they are. That's what
they look like baseball pants.
They look like baseball pants. They look like baseball pants. That's spelled Knickers. If you're curious, knickers.
Yeah, knicker.
Yeah, it's
fencing pants.
Fencing pants. That's what they're called. That's their technical term.
You have a whole setup for fencing.
There's all that special gear and all that.
Because the white fencing pants really make it, for when like you get those puncture wounds, you
got blood,
see,
but
hey, let's stop, let's get this taken care of. But
that doesn't happen
for another day. Yeah.
People don't get hurt.
So there's loads more terminology and loads of rules that we could get into.
But they're gonna be pointless to you because it's like you've never seen it. So what's the point of even discussing it? All we can do is we can
just say, go watch the Olympics.
Just go watch the Olympics.
I have such an appreciation for the sport of fencing.
I have a slight appreciation.
I have immense appreciation.
I have moderate appreciation.
Have I mentioned that I have immense appreciation?
Have I mentioned that I really don't care as much as you do about fencing?
All right. Well, let's go back and reminisce a little bit, shall we? Let's reminisce about some of the funny, strange, and downright embarrassing
I didn't have any of those last ones, so I don't know what
I thought you said this. There's one on the list that I thought you were embarrassed.
The Jedi thing?
Yeah.
That wasn't embarrassing. That was just
cringy.
Stupid.
All right. Well, let's talk about first all the demonstrations that we did.
Peaceful, I assure you.
Even though we were hitting each other with swords, it was peaceful.
It's peaceful.
We were simulating combat, but it was peaceful.
Demonstration just meant that we would go to a public place and we would get like a permit to go there and talk to, the owners of, say, this movie theater or an art gallery or something, downtown sector, and we would go there and we would just do some fencing, and we would have people there with flyers to hand out, hey, like just to
promote the sport.
Right.
Yeah.
Primarily art club. Like, we want people to come to art club.
One of the few. It's not that popular. So
yeah, we're not like just like fencing is cool. We're like, come fence at our club. Like, give us money. Come fence at our club. So we would go out and like do those things. You see those things also happening a lot for like martial arts things. I remember one time we were at a movie theater and there was like a martial arts group doing a demonstration the same day.
We should have fought each other.
We were trying to like see if we could outdo them in any way.
I'm pretty sure that like we would win because we have swords.
I don't know, but martial arts is like it's much more relatable.
Yeah, I guess.
Startup cost is less.
Okay.
Fencing's pretty expensive.
Okay, so what about that one time when a certain individual went
big boy
went through a wall.
Yeah.
So picture this. Okay, you play on a playing field. It's, I don't know, 10 or 15 meters long.
For all our friends across the lake, that's about 3 feet.
So you only have this limited playing field. So picture, okay, they're at one side of the playing field, all right, one side of the room, and the person who is on offense starts moving forward at a very fast rate.
A lot of balestras in
there. We said, saber fencing is fast. This guy was moving fast.
He's
the guy on defense moving backwards and getting the heck out of the way of this guy's
out of dodge
of his attack. All right, they go the whole length of the fencing strip, all the way to the very end. And if people go off the end of the strip all the time,
it happens.
It just means that your opponent gets a point, but it's not an uncommon thing. But at our old gym, there was like 2 feet of space in between the end of the playing field and the wall.
Yeah.
This guy was going so fast. By the time he knew what was going on, he was already going off the strip and straight in the wall. It was like a cartoon looking at this guy sitting like in the impression.
I missed it.
The drywall that he punched out through, just like.
I missed it because I was not looking and I just heard like a big.
Yeah.
And then like I looked and there was a hole in the wall and I was like, well, freaking.
So we run over there to this guy. And we pull him out, and then you're looking, and there's just the shape of his body in the drywall, like punched in, and we're just like, oh my gosh, like, we were upset at the guy on offense, I think, because they were like, why would you push him all the way? And we're like, well, the guy just went into the wall.
The guy Lurch's fault for stumbling off the edge of the strip there. Like, come on, man, be better.
So
he was an excellent fencer.
We patched up the hole with a poster.
Yeah, we just put a poster of
the Three Musketeers.
Of the Three Musketeers movie that came out in like 2013 or something like that, 2010.
So that was that.
And
what else? Oh, I saw a guy punt his mask one time.
Yeah, Yeet. We were at a tournament. We would
that was before Yeet, but
I don't know when Yeet was invented. Bonus question: if anybody knows when Yeet was invented, and tell us.
So first of all, you wear a mask, not a helmet.
Yes, it's not a helmet.
Second of all, okay, so this guy at this tournament, he had just lost a match.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was in the direct elimination round. I think it was pretty high up. Maybe quarterfinals, semifinals. I don't know, something high up. And he lost the match. And
Angry.
And it was 14-14, and you only go to 15 points.
To 15 points, yeah.
14-14, and it was really tight, really close, and the other person got the last point and won the match. And the guy was so upset because he thought the referee called the
wrong call.
The wrong calls, cheated him out of victory, that he just took off his mask, stone cold face expression, took off his mask, walks to the back of the strip, and just drop kick punts his mask straight up in the air like 40 feet. Like, this went straight up, came down, and like the mask broke because like at that point like it got all dented and whatever. And the guy got black carded immediately, which means you're ejected from the tournament. That means you
cannot fence in the tournament anymore.
Well, he couldn't because he was already.
I mean, he got eliminated,
but they just scratched him from the entire competition. You don't finish.
Show up, yeah.
Yeah. So it was just, and he was upset, and I was like, man, that was pretty poor portsmanship.
Pretty portsmanship, brickbag butter.
Poor portsmanship, like port people, like anyway. So
Portsmouth, New Jersey.
That was not a good reflection on the etiquette of the sport.
Yeah,
not something
sometimes people got like super angry.
But it was very funny to watch from a distance and see this guy.
It was going to these. We went to a lot of tournaments all over the U.S. and it was really fun to go there and just see all the other fencers. I was never very good. I never did great in any of them, but it was like just seeing all the other fencers, and some of them will get so like they would be so like distraught that they got like a bad call. And I mean, I guess if it's like what they want to make their career out of, I get it, but it's like they would be so angry or so distraught, or their coaches would be so angry, especially the Russian coaches. They would just I start to stuff like just like yelling at you and like waving their sword around and I'm like everybody just needs to freaking I was like 12 walking around,
it's
and
a game.
Even in my mind I'm like, y'all need to freaking chill, okay? We're supposed to be adults. This is a gentleman's sport. What the crap is wrong with you, man? Getting mad and yelling and swinging your sword around after you lose a match. Grow up, you child. That's what I spent most of my days thinking when I was at the fencing tournaments.
If only you had the guts to say those things, you'd be a totally different person.
Legit, I would have just been like, just imagine this tiny like child just walking up to you after you just did something stupid like that, and he's just like, grow up.
And then walk away. Yeah,
just that was what made me like.
I enjoyed the tournaments. I was a little bit more competitive than you. I progressed a little bit farther than you. And I had a little more success in the tournaments than you did.
I was bad. Don't get the idea that I wasn't.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it for sure doing all that. But we can't end this without talking about this one experience. Okay, this one experience that we had doing a gig down in Miami.
A fencing gig.
What? Okay.
What's that?
So, when you're a fencer, okay, and you say that you do sword fighting, instantly
people
are like, "Wow, that's cool," whatever.
Make up in their head what they think that looks like.
Yeah, and typically what they think that looks like is like the showy thing that you see in a lot of Hollywood movies.
Imagine Duel of the Fates between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul.
Right.
That's kind of what people would picture.
So people picture that.
Which I wish it was, to be honest, but it's not.
So this one guy from Miami who's like a lawyer, and he threw on the party for his 6 or 7 year old son. All right. He calls up our fencing club because he's looking to find entertainment to book for his son's birthday party. And he calls up our club and he was like wanting to know if we do demonstrations and stuff like that. Lightsaber demonstrations, birthday party stuff. And he's like wanting to know. And our head coach...
Do I look like a clown to you?
Who I worked part-time as a coach for a little bit. And at this point I was working as a part-time coach. So our head coach calls me up and is like, "Hey, I got an assignment for you. You're going to go down to Miami, all right, and do Star Wars for this kid's birthday party." And I'm just like, oh, and he's like, "It's $200, like no questions asked," like down there.
No questions asked.
I was like, oh,
you pull
man,
up,
okay.
You do the Star Wars thing.
So I'm like, all right, $200. This sounds pretty good. So I suckered Silas into this to come along with me, and we both did.
He was a random podunk Jedi. I was Darth Vader. We had Vader.
Fabricated these dorky costumes.
Yeah, it was the worst thing ever.
Got some lightsabers. I don't even know. I think we got some lightsabers. I don't even remember what we used.
I almost feel like they provided them there.
Yes,
but they were like really cheap.
Oh,
they were just crappy.
Like styrofoam.
They weren't. They
were
like
pool noodles.
They were Well, no, they were plastic, but they were not like trademarked Star Wars lightsabers. Yeah. They were like generic, laser swords.
So, laser sword.
I saw your laser sword. Only a Jedi carries that kind of weapon.
So me and Silas are like, all right, we'll do this, whatever. We'll go down there, $200, be Jedis for a little bit, whack some kids for a little bit.
Yeah.
So we drive down to Miami. We find this guy's place. We go in there. And we did like a routine of our own, like just demonstrating like a choreographed sword fight, lightsaber fight, what have you.
Not fencing at all.
Just a choreographed lightsaber fight. I remember because we spent some time working on it.
Yes, we did. Yeah, it was the dumbest thing ever.
It was.
Just to be clear, it was stupid.
Yeah. So
if you haven't gotten that yet, I thought it was really stupid.
So we do this, choreographed routine. And then it comes time for the kids to do the kids. I
took half the kids and trained them. And you took half the dark side. You took half the kids. It's all about hate, anger, killing small animals, killing anything that you want.
I never use this for attack, only for defense.
Knowledge and defense only. Never for attack.
So we have just a quick briefing with these kids about how to sword fight. Essentially, sword fighting 101.
2 minutes later,
we
just let them loose.
The kids are going at each other, just whacking.
They didn't even care what we said. It didn't matter. It was fine.
And they were coming after you.
They were coming after me as Darth Vader.
Like, get him!
They're like, kill Darth Vader. We all want to be Jedi. And I'm like, doesn't anybody want to be a Sith?
I think I remember standing in the back, just be like, get him!
Yeah, I remember that, and I was just like, you know what? This is stupid, but it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Right. Like looking back, I'm like, it was like...
It's one of those stupid things that you do that you're just like, we did this for money.
We did this for money.
And we did do it for money.
Not that much, though. It was...
But we didn't have to do much. We were there.
We were there for like
less half an hour or 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was less than an hour.
And then And the greatest thing was that while we were just creamed by these 6-year-olds with lightsabers, the parents were off like in the kitchen.
It was one of those parties.
Having drinks.
Yeah, the parents are in the kitchen having some wine, and the kids are literally all in like just another
like 15,
area of the house.
Like 6-year-olds.
Yeah, like when we left, it was literally like they were like, "Oh yeah, like we're done. You guys can go." And then they just turned on Star Wars for the kids and just like left them there. And I mean, the parents didn't leave, but they just like left them there and were doing their stuff. So.
Yeah, well, so it was like, well, I feel like we hardly did anything, but if you're a lawyer in Miami, I guess you got the $200 to give a couple of,
podunk little
saber fencing, lightsaber event coordinating people, and that's what happened. So we look back on that memory, just like you look back on your cringy memories, the ones that you think back, man, why did I do that? That's that for us. So
what can I say? Fencing. Look it up, really, for real. It's a really fun, interesting, and vibrant thing to watch people do. Yes. Even if you don't understand what's happening, just do it. Just Google some Olympic fencing, especially the Europeans. The Europeans are really good. Just Google some Olympic fencing and look that up. But we really liked fencing for the time that we did it.
Stay sharp, everybody.
Stay pokey.